There in Portugal, have you seen Cliff down the local supermarket, down at the Alley Super, down at Algarve shopping, maybe round at the Marina in Villamura, or the Bullring in Albufeira? Well, we called into his house.
We did.
Well, house is an understatement.
Yeah, when we were there in the summer, he invited us round, and it was his birthday, so we took a cake. We're very good house guests, aren't we?
Yes, I think he wanted us to go, though, at one stage, that though, as soon as the bottle came out, Ruth was for staying. Here we go.
Settled in for the night. In part 2 of our tour around Cliff's Portuguese farmhouse, Cliff tells us about taking Daniel Craig on at his own game.
Somebody actually said, well, that's definitely his head, but on whose body is it?
So, ride with us.
We put more of your questions.
I used to gargle with port, found it really difficult because you're supposed to spit it out.
I love it. And we all get a bit sloshed.
Cheers.
Please let us take you for a ride.
But first it's time to talk about last year's Cliff calendar with that sexy Daniel Craig tribute.
It was a really good pose. And when I looked at it, I thought, it is worth going to the gym. Because although somebody actually said, well, that's definitely his head, but on whose body is it? I couldn't believe it. Anyway, it was my body.
So what have you got this year? Have you got any particular scenes set up for the
This
calendar?
year I went to Orlando. Trying to make it an active picture. I've got pictures with dolphins. The cameraman said to the guy, can you get the dolphin to jump straight over a cliff like a big arch? So I stood there going, yeah. And he said, hold it, hold it. Oh, he said, it's about 4 miles away doing its jumping. So the guy did like this and it came nearer. And in the end, Alan said, look, we can't waste any more time. One more shot. He went like that and this thing went...
Let's make a memory.
It's a wonderful shot. And of course, he wanted me to strip my shirt off. I said, look, we did that last year.
Oh, come on.
So I said, I will do a wet T-shirt. So I did, and that's the front cover.
Take my hand.
And as Cliff fans struggle to keep control of their inner devil woman...
Talking of Cliff fans...
Mary Perry, Anne and Carol, they've been fans since 1958.
Wow, that's the beginning.
That's the very beginning. She said, has it been hard keeping your fans happy over all those years?
They're much more vocal than they were. They don't mind saying what they think of how I either look, if I have a haircut or grow it long. The funny thing is, I grew my hair out long for quite a while, you know, that 60s, 70s period. And when I look at pictures, I think, oh, God, it did look long. And they all seem to like it. I cut it short, they said, we don't like it. And I grew out long, and they said, don't like it long. So in the end, fans are just like the rest of us, really. You go with the time.
OK, so the fans can be a bit fussy about his fashion.
She cries on every tune.
But something that's always in vogue with them is his music.
Every tune. Footsteps on the dance floor.
And his latest album, Soulicious, conceived by David Guest, sees him duetting with legends such as Candy Staton and Percy Sledge on soul classics. But the majority of the songs are brand new. It would have been very easy, wouldn't it, in a way, to do kind of covers of old Motown songs.
When David Guest mooted the idea, I thought that's what we would be doing. When suddenly he sent me CDs, demos, I thought, I don't know these. And it said written by Lamont Dozier of Holland, Dozier and Holland, who wrote, wait for this, 54 number ones for the Motown hits. And I chose 11 new songs. And I've already sung one of them with Frida Payne. Do you remember Frida Payne who did Band of Gold?
Maybe you're saving a life.
It's nice when they... One more time, the same spot.
She sung it with me on television and it got an amazing response.
I feel the walls closing in. Maybe you're saving a life.
It's staggering to think that this is Cliff's 88th album. Yes, 88. And he's currently busy touring. But now it's time for him to get busy answering your questions.
Beverly Brown wants to know, is it true that you drink a glass of a little something before you go on stage? She thinks it's port, rumour has it.
No, I used to gargle with port, found it really difficult because you're supposed to spit it out. But what I might do is to have a lemon squeezed into hot water and some honey.
Oh, yes.
That's helpful.
OK, that's helpful. A bit more boring, but helpful.
And the same note, Vanessa Black, she said, when you're doing your concerts and on tour, do you ask for anything specific in your dressing room? What's
In the
your
rider, this is like pop star rider that you would
No, I
have.
try not to have anything. I mean, I don't want to eat anything before. I do ask and usually go to the caterers to collect a green apple. I heard that if you chew an apple, if whatever it's got in it's good for you.
Do you not have drugs or lap dancers or it's nothing
Not till after the show.
Now then, the next question is for you. What have Barry Gibb, Elton John and Eamonn got in common? The answer?
Come on, pretty baby, let's move it and groove it.
They've all sung with Sir Cliff Richard. But viewer Stephen Battaglia wants to know who else Cliff would like to collaborate with.
I thought I had a really great idea, but I couldn't get the Elvis people to let me do it.
Yeah.
And that is to take some of his original tracks and take his voice out in certain parts, and I'll put my voice in, like Natalie Cole did with her dad.
Yeah.
Remember? And I thought that would be really good.
Maybe don't aim as high as Elvis. Maybe try like Des O'Connor or something. And maybe his people would allow it.
They would probably allow it. Des.
So, Des, if you're watching, Cliff could be up for it.
All this talking has made Ruth rather thirsty. But fortunately, Sir Cliff has an entire vineyard producing award-winning wines at his and her disposal.
It's called Vida Nova. That's new life in Portuguese.
What a lovely place to sit.
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, how happy you have made me.
Well,
This
we
is
do drink
lovely.
port.
That's
Yes,
not
but
why
it's nice, isn't it?
You're turning into Jilly Goulden, you are.
I know. The first time we had a wine tasting was right here. One guy wrote in the magazine Wine World, he said it had chocolate flavours with blackberry lurking. And it said, and this is the bit I love, it said tannins waited patiently in the wings, made their entrance and then discreetly retreated.
It's like Shakespeare.
I was going, oh, glug, glug, yes. Very nice.
So Cliff, like Eamonn, is no wine snob. But can he recognise his fellow celebrity wine enthusiasts? Let's find out as we play Whose Celebrity Vine Is It Anyway?
My lovely assistant here
Ooh,
will now
it's a funny
pass you
colour.
this fruity bread here, as it turns out.
Now, are you playing along at home?
It's a very deep colour. It's almost like port, isn't it?
Eamonn, a clue, please.
And red is a very big clue as to which other famous musician, singer,
Red?
has produced it red. It's quite a simple wine. It's an
Is it someone with
Italian.
red hair?
Yes, it is. It's just a simple red.
Oh. What's his name? I can't think of his name.
It's produced by
Mr.
Mick
Hucknall.
Hucknall. There you go.
Yes, that's right. It's Mick Hucknall's Sicilian wine. Il Cantante. Or the singer, obviously.
Actually, that's quite a nice wine.
This one
to taste
is
mixed.
from California.
Another clue, please, Eamonn.
Do not return this to sender, even if you don't like it.
Don't. Elvis made a wine.
That is indeed. That is the King, a Cabernet Sauvignon.
That's a sort of
2009 from California. The King.
It's a soft, sweeter wine, actually. Yeah. Not sweet, but nice.
A vintage performance from Cliff there. Meanwhile, his wines lived up to my grape expectations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's amazing how quick this interview's gone. I don't know what.
Lovely.
What
I
is-
love it here.
But hope all the questions made sense. Cheers.
Yes.
Did they? Hope they did. Thank you, Sir Cliff, for letting us in to his quinta.
Yeah, we didn't remember the rest of the afternoon. I think we had a nice time.
If you've got